on this computer. Okay. So I'm not going to recap that, but anyways, thank you so much. I forget to do that sometimes, but you are your best challenger. And Molly actually said, if your challenge group is dead, you're dead, and it's because of you. And so she said that, not me. And so anyways, I think, and it's just a matter of really figuring out what works. And they're almost like cohorts. I know when I first started, I did an 80-day obsession challenge group, a Lift 4 challenge group, a Transform 20 challenge group. And then it was like, instead of just signing people up for the program that I was doing at the time, I really try to get to know, after that initial, hey girl, if you haven't seen my Inviting 101, I share it. So I actually do a GTKU to get to know people. And instead of just plugging them into the program that's hot at that time, we have so many programs out right now that are super convenient for every lifestyle and level that I really try to get to know people. And that's why I started doing an ongoing challenge group, because there are a couple reasons, and I'll explain why. But anyways, let's get started. So with the 10, my first tip, so if you're taking notes, my very first tip is new people, new energy. So a lot of times I hear from people that their challenge group is crickets, or they're the only ones posting in their challenge group. And just like with coaching, you can't drag people that aren't like ready to go and run. New people create new excitement. And so continuing to brand your boot camp and add new people every single month is going to reignite some of your older challengers. And so new people, new energy, get those new faces in there. So tip 2, get your coaches involved. And I think once I was ready to fly out of the nest and start my own challenge group, I had a couple of coaches on my own, and I just kindly asked them if they would utilize and it truly is a team challenge group, if they would use the team challenge group as if it was their own challenge group. So I expected to see them, if they were going to be adding people in the team challenge group, they needed to show up and be a part of it and help me run it and that kind of thing. And so just like you want to be your best challenger, but also if you have a crickets challenge group, even if it's just you and another coach, or if you're sitting here and you're saying, well, I don't have any working coaches under me, we have a coach family page on Facebook that literally, like, if you don't have somebody to team up with, or your challenge group is crickets, I expect to see tonight some posts in the team page that are like, hey, I want to do a Jumpstart June challenge group and I don't have any working coaches. Would anybody want to like run one with me? Because I feel like there is power and excitement and in numbers. And so get your coaches involved. And if you don't have coaches, then connect with this coach family and find people. I know my very first challenge group that I ever ran was like some coaches that started at the same time as me. And we did like a spring slim down or something together. So connect with other people, because your challengers, even if you each add 2 challengers to the challenge group, they're not going to know whose faces in there are coaches or not. They're just going to see people being vulnerable and showing up. And so my challenge group now, it was just my coaches showing up every day. And I was like, okay, this is fun. We have our own challenge group. But now as we're adding people, when they come in, they're seeing all these faces and they don't know any better. So get your coaches involved is my tip 2. My tip 3 is to plan ahead. And this is one of the absolute biggest ones. And so in terms of planning ahead, you really want to choose a date and brand it and back up 3 weeks. And don't stress out if you don't have your date yet. My next date is June 3rd, I think, because I'm saying the Monday after Memorial Day. That just sounds catchy, and people probably don't want to start anything new right before a holiday. So like, go do your thing, girlfriend, for Memorial Day, and then let's rein it in afterwards. But for me, like I said, I have that ongoing challenge group, but you see me every single month, I brand something new and exciting. And a lot of things, like I know one of my first ones that I branded that was super popular, the idea actually came from Taylor Cardenas on our team. and she was doing a shred for Santa. And I'm doing like a Slay May right now. In February, because Valentine's Day, I did a February self-love fit club. And it serves two purposes. So your followers get excited when it's branded like that. It feels like a community before they ever are a part of it. But the other thing is, it has helped me a ton with retention of people that this time last year actually signed up to do like 80-day obsession or something like that. And then I'm about to start doing a prepare to meltdown. I don't know if I'm going to call it that, but a prepare to meltdown group. And people are already starting to message like, hey, I want to be a part of that one when it comes out. And so planning ahead. And so kind of the process that I use is I pick a date first, and then I brand it based on whatever the month is or the program that I'm kind of going for. But really, I've been doing it for seasons or months. And then you want to back it up. So you want people to the deadline to enroll. I usually start to throw that out there, usually about a week and a half out from the challenge group start date, because you don't want to start to throw the deadline out too early, because then people will think they have plenty of time to enroll. But you do want to start to throw it out to create that sense of urgency. And for that, a week and a half, because the absolute deadline, you probably want that to be a week before it starts, because you want people to have time to get their package and all of that in the mail. And so a week before it starts will be the enrollment deadline. And then I give myself 2 weeks before the start, sometimes a week if I'm rushed with everything. But you want to kind of promote the boot camp at least for a week. So when you're doing your workouts on your Instagram stories and stuff, you can say, enroll in my next boot camp. And I'm sure you've seen on Emily's and some other coaches they will, on their Instagram stories, these seem to be really popular. And I always joke and say, if I wasn't already a coach, that would inspire me to enroll. But when you brand your boot camp and you've got an Instagram story that's numbered 1 through 10 or whatever, and as you start to sign either challengers or your old challengers are like, hey, yeah, I want to do that one, go ahead and start putting names in there and celebrate people. Just like on our business activity tracker, recognition is part of that. And so start to recognize people as they enroll in that boot camp. And it starts to create that Me Too mentality that, hey, everybody else is getting in this Slay for May or whatever it's called. I need to get in on this too. So planning ahead, reverse plan. You want to breadcrumb at first with the name of the boot camp and that it's the boot camp for that month. And then probably about a week and a half out, then you want to hit them with the deadline and the urgency with the sign up. What that does is it builds trust. And so in those 3 weeks prior to your challenge group, you're sharing your food, you're talking about your workouts, you're talking about the community and the accountability. You Zoom with people. So it's building trust and excitement for your program. So that is number 3. Number 4 is prep. And so I am a huge advocate for working smarter and not harder. So actually right now I am going to share my screen and invite you into my team's challenge group and show you. I've actually done, it's probably overkill, but I've done multiple things because I feel like there are people that are going to read a PDF, and then there are people that may want to watch a video or just read or something like that. And I've got it all in there created. So this is how I prepare. And once somebody signs up for a challenge pack, and you guys know I love my text replacements. And so once I go through the process, they've gotten a share a cart. When I send the share a cart, after I do that and they've checked out, I actually tell them when I send them the share a cart to send me back their order number so I can send them the link to our private accountability group. And I run mine all through Facebook. I've tried the challenge tracker app before and it just didn't take off for me. I feel like where I'm from, women usually are used to Facebook most. I do have people that have Instagram only, and I kind of one-on-one coach them from Instagram, but that's up to you. Try both and see what works for you and your audience and your people. But I am just showing you guys what I do. So I do utilize Facebook. So once they send me their order number back, and I love doing that because it communicates to them that I'm expecting action back from them. I know a lot of us send share carts and they just are ghosted and people don't check out forever and ever. And that still happens, but I think this reduces that a lot. So I ask for their order number. They send me either a screenshot or their order number. And from there, I send a text replacement. It's RTJ. And I say, request to join this group on Facebook, and I'll tag you in the pinned post with the next steps. And so instead of like explaining to people over and over, and I know there are coaches that utilize email and they'll send the PDF, but I really just try to simplify the process. So I'm going to share my screen now. Can you guys see the screen? Yes? Okay, awesome. So welcome to, this is my Faith Over Fear Fit Club. And up at the top, you can see what it's all about. And there is a to get started, watch the videos under the units tab. When I mentioned I'm going to pin them or tag them in the pinned post, this is it right here. I welcome them to the Faith Over Fear Fit Club. And this really actually mirrors in our coach family, we have those 6 crucial steps to coaching. This mirrors that, but there are only 3 because they're challengers and we don't want to overwhelm them. So step 1 is to review the welcome packet and instructions. And I have to absolutely give all the credit both to Emily and Taylor for this one. They created it and I just got inspiration from that. But the first step, there's this PDF. So I welcome them to the Faith Over Fear Fit Club. So excited that you're here. So I kind of set expectations for them. You're capable. Your number one job is working on you, and that accountability is the key. Here's how they access their workouts. I don't know about you guys, but people sign up and join, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I never did it because I didn't know like how to find anything." And you're like, "I had a girl today," and I'm like, "Okay, it's in there. You obviously didn't read things." But so how to access the Beachbody On Demand. The next thing is first steps into your journey. Again, laying expectations. I actually have my progress pictures in there and the poses, front, side, back, hands on hips, hands down, all of the poses. Also, that's a screenshot of the typical measurement tracker that comes with each of the programs. But take body measurements, take before pictures. And if you read in there, I'm really trying to lay the expectation that you want to track your progress in ways other than the scale. I had a challenger this week that was like so discouraged. And I'm like, wait, what week are you on? And she was on week 2 of a program. And I'm like, oh my God, like get off the scale. Week 2 is not enough for anything for anybody. So trying to lay that, the expectations from the start. Nutrition. I think a lot of people don't realize that they have access to Fixate and the cooking show and all of that. I lay up the importance of nutrition, that it's pretty much 20% fitness and 80% nutrition. Abs are made in the kitchen. You can't outrun a bad diet. My top tips for nutrition. So portion containers or whatever. So I just do that. And then also a commit and conquer commitment contract. I'm pretty sure I got this from when Emily and Ashley and Lori and Letty and all of them did the squad challenge group for coaches. And I just love the idea of signing a commitment contract. I remember Emily had us do this for 80-day obsession. And I know some of you guys are on here that we were in that 80-day obsession launch class together. And it just felt serious having to sign something that said that I was committing to myself. I was going to drink my shake every day, make myself, I remember reading that and being like, oh gosh, like if I sign my name to something, I'm held to it. And so I feel like it just adds another level of commitment and accountability. So I have that. And then finally, I actually do put my number. Surprisingly, don't have a lot of people text me or anything like that. But I just, and then I don't know about y'all, but I hate the phrase falling off the wagon. And so I just ask one thing: no falling off the wagon, no quitting or starting over, progress, persistence, and positivity over perfection. And so that is my packet. And whether people read that or not is to be determined, I guess, still. But the next thing is, I also, for the people that want more of that personal touch, they want to hear your voice or whatever, I have the units tab. You have to make your Facebook group a social learning group to be able to have the units tab. But I have the units tab for best practice videos and tips. I also have homeworks or a resource connected to each one. And then I say, make sure you initial the contract. So my units tab, where did it go? Maybe that's why people can't find it. Oh, it's called Learning now. I should change that. Okay, so for the Learning tab, I have the welcome packet and instructions. Video 1 is welcome, about us, and access instructions. And so I did a live video where I just lay the expectations. It's really all the same stuff that was in that packet, just my voice saying it. So I welcome them, I lay up the expectations, and I show them how to go to whatever their program is, program materials, and the nutrition guide. And then the assignment at the end of that video, I asked them to initial that contract. The next one's nutrition, because I feel like this is where people struggle so much. And you're not going to see results if you're not following your nutrition. So I talk about nutrition. I talk about my best practices, how I grocery shop based on the container list. Really a lot of the things that are in Ultimate Portion Fix now. This was before that came out. But I just have a little short video about best practices for nutrition. Nothing overwhelming, very 10,000 foot level, but some people just I had a girl today that literally you could tell wanted me to walk her through the steps, and I can't do that for, you know, however many people. And so these units, I can send her the link and be like, hey, here's where I walk you through how to do this. So you're able to have that one-on-one touch without literally having to have a Zoom call with all of your challengers. And then meal plan examples, I have some typical meal plans in there and ask them to share theirs as well. In that video, I show them how to kind of plan out their meal plan. So we all share. And then tracking progress pictures, I do talk about the before and afters. And then I also, those same poses that were in my packet, I also have that there as well. So these are the units. It's literally the same stuff in the packet, but some people like those videos and actions. All right. The next one, so 4. So we did new people, new energy, get your own coaches involved or connect with coaches on the coach family. Number 3 is plan ahead. So brand it and back out, set a date and back out 3 weeks, whatever that is. Prep smarter. So work smarter, not harder. So whether you do a packet, units, both, a video, that a Zoom you record and have the link to the video, something. But in the beginning, I was doing a lot of one-on-one Zoom type things. And as you grow as a coach, just the reality, and it's a good thing. It's good and, you know, challenging, but you still want your challengers to feel connected to you and that one-on-one, but you want to be able to take care of them. But you also have a limited amount of, you've got to guard your time as well. So that's how I prep smarter, not harder. The 5th one is to persevere. And so just setting that expectation in your group for perseverance and patience. I know sometimes I'll do a Saturday check-in and talk about that this is a journey and not a destination. I think the typical person, when they come in a challenge group, whether they've watched you for a year or they just started watching you, people want a quick fix. They want to get on the scale. They want a quick fix. And so I think you need to set up expectations that patience, personal development. I've actually started doing personal development in my challenge group. And not personal development like we do as coaches, but I will go out on YouTube and type in like short motivational video, and I'll find something that's 5 minutes or less. And instead of doing my typical sweaty selfie post for the day, I can show you guys one right here. I did one today. So I did a video. It was just a couple minutes long, and it was about I've come too far to quit. And I had actually a lot of people, because of that mindset video, that had joined me and had fallen off that wagon, came back today. And so I said, are you committed? Don't stop walking. You've come too far to quit. And that was one of the taglines from the video. And I asked them, I share your sweaty selfies below and what's your key takeaway. So that's something that I've done, is I really tried to foster an environment of perseverance and patience and staying off the scale, progress over perfection, and having grace in your journey. Because I think as coaches, like, we follow nutrition to a T, or we should, and we do the workouts, but the average challenger is going to struggle with that lifestyle. You may be a coach right now that struggles with that. So setting up that mentality and expectation for perseverance. I actually did kind of a tough post yesterday, and I had a lot of people comment with some vulnerability. So it's okay to get real with your challengers a little bit. And I told them, remember, we can't help you if we don't hear from you. If you're stuck, struggling, fall off the wagon. I think people sometimes like forget that when they sign up with us as coaches, they're not just signing up for 80-Day Obsession or Lift 4. They get access to Beachbody On Demand and our coaching for a full year. And so I think making sure that they know, and I just reiterate all the time that if you're not posting for accountability, the most successful challengers that I see results from are usually the ones that lean in the group. Sweaty selfies, posting food, commenting, and leaning into the community. So sometimes I just reiterate the value that they get in the challenge group. My next one is poll your challengers. And so a lot of nights I will do let me find the poll. Here it is. So a lot of nights I will do a rate your day, and they'll rate 1 to 10 how their day went. And so I think self-reflection is really key. So having to do that every day, it's not like, oh, well, I'm following the nutrition and I'm doing all my workouts and I'm not seeing any results. I haven't lost any weight. Well, actually, I can look at your rate the day from the last 30 days and you rated your day 5 and 6 and you aren't following the nutrition, you aren't doing the workouts and that kind of thing. So I have them rate their nutrition, their workouts, and their mindset as well. But so have your challengers poll. And then occasionally, maybe like once a month or something like that, I ask them, instead of rate your day, vote below. Where do you struggle most? Nutrition consistency, workout consistency, and mindset. And y'all, out of those 35 people that commented, probably 33 of them were nutrition. So I have a huge opportunity in my challenge group to promote Ultimate Portion Fix. And that's what, if you've seen on my stories today, I'm going to start promoting a Prepare to Meltdown group. And I'm saying that I'm doing Morning Meltdown, but the meal plan that I'm using is already out now. And so I think nutrition is just, especially this time of year, just where people struggle. So poll your challengers. Your challengers may be different than mine, and see where they need your help the most. All right, that was 6. Number 7 is to create connections. And so one thing about my challenge group, I feel like some of these women have said, and I know you guys have hopefully felt it when you've been in a challenge group, but a lot of times people will, at the end of the day, not feel like working out, but they see all their sweaty sisterhood sisters. I can see Taryn's face, so I'm going to use her as an example. But I remember I was in an 80-day group with Taryn, and it was like, and Taylor as well. I would like get up in the morning and be like, okay, well, Taryn and Taylor have worked out. I need to work out too, you know? And so I think you create a sisterhood with the people in your challenge groups. But I really tried to foster that as well by doing things like a Tag a Friend Friday. And I have my girls tag somebody throughout the week. So it's not necessarily me doing it. It's them connecting with each other. And so I'll do Tag a Friend Friday and really try to foster community and engagement between them. And what happens is they start to do some of the coach work for me. And so when I'm posting that rate your day and they're reflecting, or they post the sweaty selfies, they're commenting on each other's comments. And so it's almost like they start to take care of each other. And it's really cool to see that community build. So create connections among your challengers. Try to foster that community. Number 8 is recognize the right behaviors. And so you are going to have your positive Pollys and your negative Nancys. And so recognize the positive Pollys, the girls that are showing up day in and day out. And again, I'm going to use Taryn as an example, but for our 80-day group, she fostered community so much and became a leader, and she was showing up day in and day out. And so you want to, the squeaky wheel shouldn't get the oil all the time. You want to recognize the people who are showing up day in and day out. Don't take those challengers for granted. Send them a private message telling them how great they're doing. Plant the seed for coaching for them. But recognize the right behaviors. You can do something like a challenger of the week. I usually try to do like a transformation or non-scale victory Tuesday, a side-by-side Sunday. It takes a lot of guts to share that in a challenge group. And so really recognize, especially the people that get vulnerable and do those things and show up every single day. The ninth one is to retain. And so just like I shared that kind of hard post that I posted earlier today, I don't know how you guys feel about, and when I open up, you can some of y'all are welcome to talk about what y'all do. But again, I think there are programs like 80 Day. There is just something magical about going through an 80-day program, day 1 through 80, with the same class or group of people. So I think there are certain programs. I'm going to go ahead and say that Morning Meltdown is going to be that way. To be day 1 through 100 with a certain group. I'm actually going to use, I don't know if you guys have read this book, but it's Annie Downs' 100 Days to Brave. I've already decided I'm actually going to do it in my ongoing challenge group because FOMO, right? But I'm going to, and I did it with Transform 20. So it can work for launch groups, like to reward the people that do the VIP access for the launch group. So with Transform 20, in my ongoing group, I did the challenge group guide from Beachbody in my ongoing group. So I had the regular sweaty selfie in the morning and the regular rate your day at the night. But in the afternoon, I did the Beachbody challenge group guide just for my T20 girls. And I had so many people that were in the middle of another program that were like, oh my God, I have to do this T20 program because they watched a group go through it in the middle of the challenge group. I'm going to do the same thing with Morning Meltdown 100. So when this starts July 29th, I'm going to do a Brave 100 or Be Brave 100 challenge group in my ongoing challenge group with Morning Meltdown, and I won't share the whole thing, but a takeaway from this. And so it will feel like, I hope, such a community. And the girls that aren't doing it, that didn't get the VIP challenge pack, they're going to want to. So retain your people. And I feel like you're able to do that if you have an ongoing group, or you kind of create FOMO, or you have a launch group create an interest group for a program. But you want to make it very clear to your challengers that they get you for the full year and not just one program and done. And that it's okay. I try to say every now and then, it's okay if you fell off the wagon, you didn't finish your program. Either let's get you on a different program, or what can I do to help you? I think sometimes people just need to hear that it's okay and I'm not mad at you and you're welcome to come back, kind of thing. So make sure people know that they are welcome. And then my final one is mix it up. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't get discouraged by flops. I know I've tried things that have worked and people comment, and then I've tried things before and no one comments and it's crickets and I feel ridiculous. And so don't be afraid to mix up your challenge group. I'm about to tell you guys my typical Monday through Sunday, some themed things that I do. So on Monday, I do, and in the coach family, I ask this. So if you want more ideas, go search in the sidebar of the coach family for challenge group themes, I think is what I called it. And you guys had a lot of really cool ideas as well. So for Monday, I'll do a motivation Monday with just a quote, and then they share their sweaty selfies, or mindset Monday, where I'll share, like I did yesterday and today, mindset, because I feel like it's what my girls needed right now. I'll do a transformation Tuesday. Our group is faith-based and that kind of stuff. So I'll do a worship song Wednesday or a wear it again Wednesday. And I love wear it again Wednesday. I remember Emily, she had a pair of pink shorts, and she had us in our group find a piece of clothing that didn't fit and we wanted to get back in. And I had these pair of yellow corduroy, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but yellow corduroy pants that I wanted to get back into before winter. And so that was my clothing item. And it was probably one of my most engaged with posts as a coach, because they were loud. But by the time that I put them on, I have a picture with them like this, and I actually sold them, and I don't have them anymore. And so have your girls I've had my girls go get their wedding dresses out of their closets and put them on for Wear It Again Wednesday. And then you have content, if they allow you to share, like how I think it's so impactful I have a gray bridesmaid's dress now that I can like pull out to here and stuff like that. So Wear It Again Wednesday, if you don't do that, is really cool. But you have to do it yourself too, because if you don't do it, they're not going to do it. So you got to go first. And then I'll do like a Thirsty Thursday and do shakes or energize or recover, because you really want the people in your challenge group, if they are getting shakes and they see everybody else drinking energize, they're like, wait, I want that too. What does it do? And that kind of thing. Or, do like Thirsty Thursday, cheers your energize, and what's your favorite benefit to energize, or how does energize make you feel? Drop a gift below or something like that, so getting people to also share the product that they're using. What else? I'll do like drinking water is a struggle for me. So I'll do I try to take them outside their comfort zone of the challenge group sometimes. So I'll ask them to do like #hydrate with Heather, and they'll tag me on Instagram stories and stuff like that. That is a good benefit, because the girls that are willing to take it outside of the challenge group and go post on Instagram stories or Facebook, they're your coaches. And so I'll do a Thankful Thursday, because I really try to keep the tone of my group gratitude and positivity. And so I'll ask them what they're thankful for, and I'll ask them what they're thankful for in their life outside of the group, because then they're all like, trying to be the star student, and they're like, I'm so thankful for you in this group. And it's like, that's not what I was looking for. So here, in your life, like what is going on in your life outside of fitness and food and all of that you are thankful for. And it helps foster that community, and people get to know each other a little bit better, because they'll say, I'm thankful for my kids or my husband or something like that. I'll do Friday. I'll do a fun fact Friday. So tell us something about you that we don't know. And it's really cool, because some of the girls will get in there and I'm like, wait, what? And some people will really surprise you with some of the stuff that they have done or can do or are afraid of or something like that. It's really cool to get to know people that way. Face-to-face Friday, I'll have people find a picture of their face and put it with their face now, and try to get like a candid, because you see the eyes. And if you guys, yesterday when I shared my story, that's what I wanted when I saw Emily's journey, is I needed the light back in my eyes. And it's so cool on Face-to-face Friday to see girls, they don't know what you're doing, but then when they post it and it's like, look at your eyes, your life has lit back up, and people really realize like, oh my gosh, there is a benefit to this outside of the scale. I talked about the Tag a Friend Friday. I'll do shout out Saturday. So I'll pick a challenger that's been showing up throughout the week. On Saturdays, I have started doing 9 a.m. on Saturdays for the coach family, but my challengers as well. So like a Sweaty Sister Saturday. I think that's neat to be able to do. I don't know that I've been showing up in it, so I need to recommit to that. And then Sunday, I'll do a side-by-side Sunday, because usually that's when I'm sharing my side-by-side on Instagram. And then you'll have your coaches and your challengers, of course, ask their permission before you share it on social media. But it's cool to get content for side-by-side Sunday and be able to shout people out. I also will do like a Fill Your Cup Up Sunday. A lot of programs, that's a rest day. And so you have to refill your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup, as a mom, as a wife, as a just person in general. So I remind people on Sundays to fill back up. So those are my top 10 tips. New people, new energy. Get your coaches involved or connect with other coaches. Plan ahead. Prepare, so work smarter, not harder. Persevere, so set up expectations. Take a poll, see what your people need. It may not be what my people need. Create connections with your challengers among themselves. Recognize the right behaviors. Retain your challengers. And don't be afraid to mix it up, fall on your face, and try new things. So I'm going to look at the questions really quick. I do want to open it up to, let's see. What app do you use to design the PDFs and photos on Pins posts? I do everything in Canva. Canva is super drag and drop. So definitely Canva. And for that, I just like post it. If you type in like brush or something like that, or like confetti, you can find things. Also, I'll Google, if I'm looking for like diamonds or confetti, just Google something with PNG after it, and it will be a picture without that background. And so I just do that a lot. Sometimes you can get cool stuff on Etsy as well. But back when I did that PDF, all I did was Canva. I framed mine and put it next to the TV. I love that idea, Taryn. So your contract. So get them to put their contract on their fridge or something like that. Let's see, I talked about rebranding each month or season. Do I change any of the graphics in your Facebook group to match the branding or keep the Faith Over Fear banner? I actually haven't changed the graphics. I just keep it consistent. But you know, I mean, so let me show you guys. Y'all can see this, I think. Well, just go to photos. So you'll see it's like the same junk over and over. But sweaty selfie, rate your food, rate your day. I actually like to keep those the same because with those, they know to look for the sweaty selfie. And my challenge group is not a free-for-all. So I have the wall set, and I've done both. And actually, I was a part of Emily's where she did both. And I think there are benefits to both. But I feel like with a group this size that mine is now, the open wall gets really overwhelming and things get lost. And when you're trying to find a recipe it's way overwhelming. So in the very morning, probably 4:30 a.m., I schedule them out. Obviously, I'm not awake at that time. So I do the sweaty selfie, and you can see it's like the same. Sometimes I mix it up and do some of that stuff, but typically the sweaty selfie is the same. They know to be looking for that picture each day. The share your food, I'll do like a you eat it, you share it kind of thing. And so anything that goes in your mouth that day, whether it's on plan or not, you share it. And so it keeps me accountable actually as a coach, because then I'm like, oh, I have to share my food today, so I need to be good. And then rate your day. And I mix the rate your day up. So some days I'll do 1 through 10. Some days I'll do rate your day. It's always mindset, nutrition, and workouts. Some days I'll do like drop an emoji, and it's funny to see how creative people get with their emojis. Or I'll do like drop a heart, and like green means good, yellow means improvement, red means I'll try again tomorrow. And I always keep a positive tone. It's not like totally failed and I'm doing horrible. Like I'll try again tomorrow. And then also fun, I'll do rate your day and like drop a gift below to explain your day. And it's so funny the ones that people come up with. So that's what I mean by mix it up. But I think it's a balance of mixing things up, but also having a consistent presence that your girls feel like they trust it, and it's just a part of the process as well. So, all right, good question. What's your opinion on posting more than once a day? So obviously I do. I usually do, and I think just as you do it over time, I think don't do that if you don't have great engagement. So I think for my group, I started out with just the sweaty selfie, and that's it. And then the sweaty selfie was getting a good number of people day in and day out. And then people were starting to ask questions underneath the sweaty selfie. So just like the poll your group, like look and see what they're asking about, and the needs will start to come up. So people are asking about, well, what do you use for this container? Or especially with 80 Day, when those containers went together, like what the heck do you do for a purple and a red meal? And I was like, okay, people need to see food. And then the rate your day has just always been something consistency. So at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. But the most I probably ever do is 3. So I'll do something in the morning, something in the evening, and maybe something around lunch, but I try to keep it there. Yes, Nikki, my challenge group is closed to where only the admins can post. And also, I mean, in the very beginning, I used to do a calendar, and I got my coaches to we would do right here, Wear It Again Wednesday, a Thankful Thursday, some of the other stuff, Self-Care Sunday, and my coaches were a part of that. And so it wasn't just me. And then when they added people to the challenge group, they had street cred because they had a daily prompt that they were responsible for. Most of them have started their own, they've gotten big enough that they have their own challenge groups, but every single one of them, even if they have their own challenge groups, still utilize Faith Over Fear Fit Club as their challenge group, because you have to fill up your own cup. And so that is one thing that I am really thankful for my coaches, even if they have their own pages. And some of them have teamed up together. They are all still showing up in Faith Over Fear. So yes. All right. Let's see. All right, Lindsay, I think I answered that. So you see it's very generic in this ongoing group, but for a program like a launch for a program like Transform 20 or Morning Meltdown 100, and I only do it for the launch group. So I'm not going to do Morning Meltdown 100 and then start another Morning Meltdown 100, and I will just do it for the first 100 days. And those girls are a cohort. And then it'll just go to ongoing after that. All right. I will post all those days. I'll post in our Coach Family page. Some of you guys are asking about that. And I think, yeah, at least like gifts. Yes, I love when they do the gift day. It's hilarious. All right. And yes, I schedule. So what are you using your post to schedule on Facebook? Usually on Sunday evenings. And this week I was at the beach with my team, so I didn't do it. But usually on Sundays, I will go ahead and schedule out the sweaty selfie and the rate your day. And then I kind of leave that midday for whatever I'm polling the group to see what the need is. But that sweaty selfie, it comes up at 4:30. And the rate your day is usually at night around 6:30, because they've eaten dinner by that time and hopefully whatever. So I schedule things out on Facebook on Sundays. So it's just kind of set it and forget it throughout the week. And then in the week, all I have to do is get in there and engage. Yeah, and the Beachbody blog has some really cool stuff. I know they had like lunch ideas. They have Shakeology recipes. So utilize that as well. But what other questions do you guys have? Or is there anybody, I know in our Diamond strand, there are some challenge groups that do personal development, like book clubs and stuff like that. So does anybody want to share something that they're doing in their challenge group that is really working? No awkward silence. I do this with my students. All right, Kayla, go. Can you unmute?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, hold on. I have to stop sharing my screen. Let me do that.
I'm like, can you even see me? Okay, there. I had to step in. I'm at work, so I had to step into a conference room. But I just came up with something. I haven't actually started it yet, but I'm really excited about it because I asked my group what they thought and just got their opinion on it before just jumping and doing it. And so it's like a cook-off. So everyone tells me they struggle with nutrition. So what we're gonna do is like a cook-off, and I like took a poll and was like, who would like to be randomly selected to choose a recipe, and who wants to like participate but doesn't want to be selected. And so now I have people I can call on who want to choose a recipe. And basically what we're going to do is every week we're going to choose a recipe that we're all going to cook from Fixate and just share it. So I'm going to do the first recipe. I think I'm going to do the zucchini bread, and I'm going to start this next week. But I just thought it was really cool because then we're going to like cook something together and just like one new recipe a week. And they're all excited about it because they're always constantly like talking about nutrition and how they're struggling with that. So it's just a cool idea that I just came up with. Don't know if it's going to be successful or not, but they're excited about it. So I thought I would share.
I love that. That's awesome. I have a coach that her and her husband on Sundays, I think, it's the only day he'll drink a shake, which is odd, but they do a Sunday shakedown. and I don't know if it's like a competition, but they'll make a shake. So I thought about maybe doing a creative shake and see, like, make it a competition and see who wins. So I love that. That's a great idea. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Who else has something? That's awesome.
I'll share something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who is this? Let's see. I'm trying to find you on here.
This is Lindsay. Yeah.
Oh, Lindsay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So a couple things. One thing that I'm doing is I offer like live workouts every morning. So I just started 80-day obsessions. So I actually have to start my workout a little bit earlier than typically I start them at 5:30. So I have that as like a pinned post at the top of my accountability group, or in my challenge group, I'm sorry. And then every morning, obviously that's up at the top, and then they can just click the Zoom link to work out. And so I've had a handful of people work out with me like consistently for a few weeks. And so that's really helped. And I think that helps, create that accountability of piece again. And then I am on like week 3 or 4 of like a book study, and it's working okay. The book that we picked, it's a little odd. And I did like a poll to have them like, here's a couple book options, which one, this is, and gave a little bit, a brief description about what it was about. And then, the highest vote, we just went ahead and did that book. And so then we meet like once a week. I just actually put those girls in like a text strand because not everyone wanted to do it. And so I just texted them and said, hey, what day of the week works well for you and what time works well, evening or, morning time. And so we meet once a week just to talk about like our takeaways from the book. So that's a couple things that I've kind of dipped in, and they're working pretty good. The workouts in the morning are doing good. I think if we had a different book, it would probably be working better just because a few of the chapters have been just a little like, just a lot of like stories and not really relatable to us. So we either talked about something else or we like didn't meet that week. And we just said that next week we would meet over the next chapter. So
that's cool. I like that a lot. I think there was another group that was doing maybe either podcast or a book. What book is it? So we don't.
The subtitle Art of Not Giving a
Okay, yeah. Very cool.
So it's okay, but some of the chapters was like, we just kind of got lost in it. It wasn't really relatable to us. But I know who you're talking about. I think it was in one of the other groups that we had that did the podcast thing, yes. And she shared the takeaways from that, but I can't think of her name.
So yeah, I like that. And I actually did, same thing during the semester. If I don't work out in the morning, I feel like I don't work out, or it gets hard. My anxiety grows throughout the day as I don't work out. And I think there's something for people to see. So I created, it's called Sunrise Squad, but it's funny because now that I'm off for summer, I am not getting up with the sun like I was. But I created a recurring link for my Zoom and made the settings so they could join it or start it without the host. And so it's there every morning. And I have one for Central Time Zone and Eastern Time Zone. And then I have the one for Saturday. So those of you that do the Saturday 9 a.m. one, I have it set. And you guys have for a couple of weeks been doing it without me. And so really just to create a place that they can go and meet. But I do think once people, like it was like, we started out kind of strong with like 5 of us, and then it dwindled down to 3, and now it's like 1. And it's like, the one girl showing up every day. And so I think if you do the Zoom link, it's like extreme accountability for you because you need to show up too. But yeah, that's an awesome idea. If anybody else wants to go, I think there was somebody else that was going to talk right before Lindsay. If anyone else wants to share while you're sharing, I'll look at the comments. Anybody?
That was me. I was trying to share.
Share.
Okay, so I was going to say something about how I feel like people really thrive off competition. At least I know I do. Like if it's a competition and it's like, hey, you need to you need to step up and be the best, then I'm going to try and do it. So what I have done in my challenge group, I run a challenge group with 2 other coaches. So we basically run it the same way Heather does, except we just split the workload. Like one of us posts the sweaty selfie in the morning, one of us does a midday post, and one of us does a nightly devotion. But we just started a 15-day challenge. So we noticed that our engagement was kind of lacking a little bit. So we were like, hey, we're going to start a competition amongst you guys, and you're going to have to submit to us a before picture, and then you have to show up in the challenge group every single day for 15 days. And I don't know if you guys can see this. It's pretty bright. So I have a list of my challengers that decided that they wanted to get in on it. And then I'm tallying every single day that they post, to make sure that they post every single day for 15 days. Then they have to submit an after photo. And then they're going to get like a tub of Energize or something from me as a prize. And that has really upped our engagement. Like we just started it today, and there's been so many people on it that have commented because they started this 15-day challenge. So that's just an idea for any of you guys who are maybe struggling with engagement, or, you know, needed an idea to get people more involved. That seems to be working for us.
That's awesome. And I think Hannah also did like a Lift 4 couples group, like Biggest Losers style. And so each of the couples, it was like how much weight they had lost as a couple. And I thought that idea was really neat. So she's really good about coming up with ideas like that. So I love the competition and then prizes. And I think somebody was saying on here, like giving them an Amazon gift card or Starbucks. I like the idea of making it a Beachbody product, because then somebody in your group might have shakes and not know what the heck Energize or a Shakeology Boost or something like that is. But the competition, I know Emily uses, and she's on, I don't have to speak for her, I think, but Emily uses the challenge tracker app, not necessarily as like double work for her in the challenge group, but it is somewhere where people can check in. And it's harder to track like who's showing up, because you would probably have to have like a spreadsheet or a sheet of paper. But in the challenge tracker, it tracks it for you, who's showing up with their shakes and their workouts and stuff like that. And so I haven't started doing that, but that's an idea of easy tracking, is to have people do that in the challenge tracker app. That's a mouthful. We have just a couple more minutes, so I'm looking at the questions really quick to answer those. Michelle asked.
Can I go real quick? I was just going to say, one thing I've done in my group that's probably been the most successful is, so 2 things. My group's small enough where I don't do the admin only posting. So that's, I think if your group is small enough and you kind of know everyone you've got in there, then you don't need to. If your group's bigger, yours is pretty big, you want to probably limit what the posting is. But for mine, the girls are just all in there all day long. They're just giving me life. But the other thing I was going to say is, I have done Challenger of the Month, and that's been huge. And I just have them private message me, so it's not awkward, but they just private message me who's inspiring them in the group. And it's just a big boost, because, I go live and I announce who the winner is. They get a $25 Amazon gift card, so I can email it and I don't have to mail anything. And yeah, that's been really successful for our group. And I think helping them feel bonded and loved on, because, I say, they're voted by their peers. So that's been really cool for us.
Oh, wait, I'm muted. Awesome. Let's see. Let me go back. Navigating these groups are not easy. Okay. So Michelle, to answer your question, does it become confusing for people doing different programs? You see from my challenge group prompts, if it's not a launch group, those challenge group prompts are very generic. And so they're doing just a sweaty selfie, a share your food, or a rate your day. And it doesn't matter what program you're doing, you're going to be those are generic. And I also think that helps with retention, because you're seeing people and people are like, oh my God, that move was so hard in their sweaty selfie. I'll do like a move of the day. And what it does is people are talking about all different programs. And so many times I've had people watch somebody get results, or one of their friends they've connected with in the challenge group, they are doing 80, and then they see Sarah doing T20 and they do T20 next, or some of them will go together and do something together. So a lot of them did T20 and then they did the 21-day fix real time and fix extreme. So in my ongoing group, if it's not a launch season, I keep those very generic. And just because I kind of know I think we can share this. It's fine, I guess, because it's in our coach family. But Morning Meltdown 100 is, so with Transform 20, I did have groups coming in, so that was only a 6-week program, but I start new challenge groups every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on where I'm at. If I'm slower in Success Club and need some momentum, I'll do them every 2 weeks. But if I'm good and whatever, I'll just do one a month. And I just play around with things like that. But with Transform 20, there was a group that came in doing Transform 20 that overlapped, but you were doing the same days. So when you're posting, if you think about it, when you're posting the prompt and it's like, I forget what the days were for Transform 20, faster, stronger, whatever they all were, when you're posting the prompt for that day, you don't have to post what the Beachbody Challenge Group thing is. You can make it generic enough that any group doing Transform 20, they're all on faster, they're all on stronger, things like that. Morning Meltdown 100, it's on a 10-day cycle, so it's not going to be 7 days, but you could start a group, say a group's on day 50 and it would be 51 and day 1. However that works, you could start them on the same cycle, and so your daily prompts for that program that's hot right then, they would match up, okay? So you can still keep it generic enough to keep an ongoing group going. Hopefully that helps and makes a little bit of sense. Let's see. All right. And I did, so who is this? Tamika, to answer your question, in the beginning, and again, I'm going to wrap it up, but in the beginning, I did not do an ongoing group. I was opposite. So I actually started out with a concentrated, I had 80-day, I had a Lift 4. It was like I was starting out an 80-day obsession group every month. And at first that was fine, but at some point, you were trying to run, and I know Emily can attest because I feel like this happened to both of us, but there was a point where I was like, okay, this group's on day 1, this group's on day 15, this group's on day 29, and it was like, who's on what day? And I would accidentally post the wrong prompt in the wrong group, and it got really overwhelming. So I started with concentrated 80-day Lift 4. You do, with anything, you do what works for you, and you do what works for your challengers. So just like I mentioned, my coach Hannah that did the Biggest Loser couples challenge group, that probably needed to be a concentrated group for Lift 4, right? Or a lot of you guys are doing 80-day obsession for a second round and taking it back to basics or whatever. That probably needs to be a concentrated group, but there are ways that you can run that in your ongoing group. But I started out with concentrated groups because that's all I knew at the time. But I feel like I will, just because it's easier for me, I'm probably going to run an ongoing group forever and ever. Let's see. Oh, you probably do have to. I do have a paid Zoom account, but if you're running, which you should be, if you're running your own weekly team call, then I don't remember why, but I paid for I wanted it to be more than 40. You can only have a certain number of people and only for 45 minutes. And so I did the paid Zoom account because obviously I go over time and talk a lot. So yes, I do have a paid account. So I don't know if that's a paid feature or not. Let's see. Hannah, Lindsay asked about the 15-day challenge. So if offline, you'll connect with her. Uh-oh, my computer's updating. And I think that's everything. No, Cassie, I have an ongoing group. I don't start new groups anymore. Everybody goes into that Faith Over Fear Fit Club. All right, and I think that is there any other onboarding or just the pinned post? So this call is recorded. Go back and watch. I do have the pinned post, but I also have units and assignments. So lots of onboarding. And when I did in the very beginning, when I was a brand new coach, I would do the Sunday before a launch group. So before 80-day, I would do a Zoom call like this for my new challengers. So I know some people still do Zoom calls for their challengers. I do not anymore. But that's an idea for you if you're a newer coach and you really want to kind of hold hands and have that personal touch. A lot of people will do, in addition to a packet, units, whatever, a Zoom call with their people. And you can share the benefit to that. You can share your screen, you can record it, you can post the recording in the group, people can ask questions and that kind of thing. So anyways, hopefully that was useful and helped you guys with your challenge groups. If there's anything that you didn't get to ask or something that's working for you, please share with us in the Coach Family page, because we truly are a family and we are better together and we can help each other. So hopefully this was helpful for challenge groups. And if you feel like you have a challenge group that is crickets, I would love to see in the Coach Family, just like we kind of did for Team Cup. If you don't have a team or coaches underneath you that you can build a challenge group with, get in the Coach Family and find some people to run it together, because we are all better together. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Again, I'm not the resident expert, but hopefully it was helpful. All right. Bye, you guys.